Welcome to another edition of English for Daily Living. English for Daily Living with me, Dwight Michael Berridge, and I'm certainly delighted once again for another opportunity to be here with these lessons that will allow you or help you to be able to communicate effectively in the English language. The reading and writing, speaking and listening skills. These are all skills that need to be sharpened. Tonight on the program we want to be able to just do something different. Look at the old-time English, Shakespearean English as it were. The kind of English that we would read in the King James Version of the Bible. And we want to be able to explain some little things that are important in understanding how that worked. So what is Shakespearean English? It's a language in which Shakespeare wrote, and this is referred to as early modern English. Alright? And a linguistic period that lasted from approximately 1500 to 1750. The language spoken during this period is often referred to as Elizabethan English or Shakespearean English. Alright, so have you ever seen these words? Have you ever heard these words? Thyself, thee, thine, and ye, these kinds of words, ye, right? What's thou? You know, and those things. I said to a fellow recently, a youngster, I asked him, whence comest thou? He said, what? I repeated myself. I said, whence comest thou? He said, what? What language are you talking? What? You know, so it's something that many young people are not au fait with. So we want to be able to explain these things. Now, so the first person, I, me, my, and mine, basically they remain the same. The second person is the problem when we have you, the second person. So we have you. Okay. And let me just put up here what we are doing. We are talking about Shakespearean English. Shakespearean English. Right? That's it. So, when we talk about you, when we say you, we have to understand that in those days, you, the singular form was thou. That's the word. Thou. Okay? That was the singular form. And the plural, so this was the singular, thou. And the plural would have been ye. Pray that ye enter not into temptation. Ye. That would be the plural form. Right. Ye. Alright. So, what we're basically saying, thou for you, is a nominative case, as in thou hast risen. And thee for you, as in the objective case, when we look at object pronoun, you have risen. You have risen. Back then, thou hast. Look at that form, hast. And risen. But then, in the plural form, you have risen, the same you have risen, where more than one will be ye. Ye have. Okay, risen, ye, right? It's a ye have risen. Right, so these are very important. Now, let me now therefore, let me just erase this very quickly. And if we're saying I love you, we would say I love, okay, in the objective case, I love thee. Okay? I love thee. Alright? I give you my heart. I give thee my heart. So we have to distinction between when it comes to thou, okay, these words are associated with thou, thee, and thy for possessive pronoun, possessive adjective, sorry, and then thyself, okay, reflexive pronoun, and so on, and thine for possessive pronoun, thine. Thou has these, okay? Thou, these words are associated with thou. Thee, thy, thyself, thine. Thine be the glory. Alright. Okay, let's go now further. Let me just see if I can get this to just give this a little nice up. It's all about nicing up the border. Alright? It's all about nicing up the board. Can't have a dirty. Make it clean and nice. Alright. Now then, let us therefore, at this point in time, continue as we, and of course we have things like A. A simply means yes. And so when you say A my lady, yes my lady. Alright? And wish does appear in Shakespeare. Shakespeare plays like in Romeo when he says, I wish I were a cheek upon that hand. We often find would, I would instead. I would. I would. I wish you were dead. I would that now, you know. Those kinds of things. So why do some readers find it Shakespearean writing difficult? Some readers find Shakespearean writing very difficult, you know. And it's because the English language was different at that time. It is not because of ignorance or illiteracy. It's just different. The only reason is that many words have changed their meanings over the centuries. And let's look at some words that have changed. These words are words which are no longer used or are no longer used in the manner in which they were when Shakespeare wrote his plays. What are some of these words? I'm going to write, I have a list of about 100, let's say about 69, no, let me see what I have here, 69 of them, and I'm just going to highlight a few that we see very often in the Word of God, the Bible. So when we see a word like affrighted, okay, affrighted, okay, that means frightened. Aforetime, that means formerly. Always means always. Amidst means amid or into. Amongst means among. Athirst means thirsty. Athirst. Asunder means apart. Asunder. Bare means anything or something. Sorry, ought means anything or something. Ought. Something or anything. Similarly, when we have you hear ought, and in the negative we have not, nothing. Okay, and then let's see a few here. Dot means toilet. Durst means dear. Durst. For ere means before. Ere time began. Before time began. Gainsay means contradict. Forswear means perjure. And gross means fat. When you see gross in the King James, gross, fat. Haply means perhaps. Haply. Hanged, hung, hearken, listen, hearken. Hearken unto the voice of my cry. Listen, hearken. Holden, held, howbeit, however, lasciviousness, lustfulness, meet, fitting, it's meet. Mine means my. Mourn means morning. Early on that morn, that one poem says, early on that Christmas morn, Jesus Christ the Lord was born. Morn means morning. Then we have no wise, no way, oft, often. Look at this one. Peradventure. Peradventure, he kill us. In the story of Joseph, peradventure means perhaps. Peradventure. Persuasiveness. Persuasiveness means persuasiveness. Privily called the wise men. Put asunder, separate. Quit means cleared. Quit you like men. Become men, quit you like. Raiment, clothing. Rent means tear. Snare means a trap or a noose. Establish means establish. Steadfast means steady. Steadfastly, steadily. Straightway, immediately. Straightly, strictly. Stayed means stopped, propped, or fixed. In a straight means hard pressed or very greatly. Straightened means constricted. Straits means restriction. Succor means help. Suffer means sore. Till means until. Unwashed means unwashed. Unwashed. Vesture, clothing. Whilst, while. On this wise means in this wise. In no wise, in no way. Without means outside. With means written. And yea means yes. Then we have nay for no, yea for nay, for yes. So next time you see these words, you'll understand the context in which they were used in the King James Version of the Bible. Let's look at now conjugating a verb. And remember our subject pronouns. We're going to just, as we wrap up, conjugate a verb, a few verbs in the present indicative. Very interesting to understand these things. Very important. All right. Once again, I'm going to take the opportunity to thank you for viewing and for for paying attention as we continue this series. All right. I think this marker has a bit of a it leaves a snare. All right, let me get that in the end. Okay, now perhaps I can get it right away. Now then, so we're saying that we want to conjugate a verb in the present tense, the present indicative. All right, so remember our subject pronouns. I'm going to show you them. We did them when we did the verb to be. Now we're doing the same verb to be in the Shakespearean English. So our subject pronouns are I. Remember this one, I. We still have I. Then we have thou, the big thou. What thou, when people pray in church, you hear them, what thou, Lord, what thou hast done, what thou hast said in thy word. So it's thou. Then we have third person singular, we have he. Then third person singular and feminine, we have she. That means we have we. First person plural is we. Then second person plural is ye. And then the third person plural is thee. Alright. So let's write them on the board. The verb is to be. To be. Our pronouns I, you, no, I, then thou, then he or she, then the plural we, then ye, and they. So then, I am. Thou art. He or she is. We are. Ye are. And they are. That's the verb to be. I am. Thou art. Lord, thou art. Okay? Now the verb, let's conjugate the verb to have. The verb to have. I have. I have. Thou hast. Thou hast. He or she hath. We have. Ye have. And they have. Okay? So what we're seeing here with the thou, the second person singular, we are seeing the st, all right? We're seeing the st, or sometimes we see est. All right. Let's go ahead now and try another one. What about this verb? The verb. Let's do a regular verb. Let's do. Before we do a regular verb, let's do another irregular one. Do. The verb to do. Now, do is a particular case. It has two forms. It has the emphatic form and it also has the indicative form. So let's do the indicative. I do. What are you doing? I do. I do the works that thou doest. And then he or she doeth. Right? So we are seeing here with the third person singular, we are seeing this construct. We have th or eth. Alright. And then we do, you do, they do. Straightforward. These are the ones to watch. Thou doest and thou doeth. And thou doest and he doeth. Alright. Now, when we're using the verb to do as an emphatic form, it'll be I do, thou, it'll be thou dost. Thou dost. What? Thou dost know. It means you do know. Thou dost. And then he or she doth. Okay? She doth eat. You know that kind of construct. And we do, you do, and ye do, and they do. Alright. Now let's talk about, let me see, just to see if you can, let's do a regular verb. Eat. The verb is eat. Okay, in the present indicative, get this out of the way again. I eat. Thou what? Thou eatest. Eatest thou? Dost thou eat thy food? Thou eatest. He or she eateth. We eat. Ye eat, and they eat. All right. Now, here is the part that I want to see if you can work these on your own. I'm going to give you 5 verbs. And I want you to give me the second and the third person singular form. So here's your assignment for today. Write the second and third person singular form of these verbs. Singular form of the following verbs. And they are, so we have, so I'm giving you example. I have I eat. So your answer would be, the second person would be thou eatest. And the third would be he or she eateth. Okay, so here are the verb forms I'm giving you. I have I can. Then I have I will. Then I have I come. And then I have I go. And then finally I have I believe. So let's go ahead and think about the answers. The second and third person. So we want the thou or we want the he or she. Alright, very quickly now, as our time moves on. I can, what's the answer? I can. Second person would be thou. Thou what? Thou canst. Remember we said that, thou canst. And he or she can. Not caneth, but can. I will, thou wilt. The regular form. Thou wilt or he or she will. I come, thou comest. Lord, we pray that, until thou comest or callest. Thou comest. And then, sometimes you hear them say in church, they want to use the thou, people want to use it, but they don't understand it, they don't use it correctly. They say thou come, but it's thou comest. Thou comest, or he or she cometh. I go was in the thou, using the second person thou goest. He or she goeth. I believe, thou believest. Believest thou this? Okay? And then he or she believeth. Alright. So basically what we said, that when we are conjugating in the Middle English, we are using thou for you. We are using ye for you in the plural. With the thou, we have the st or the est. With the he or she, we have th or eth. Please go over these structures. Please understand them. And I hope that this has helped you to appreciate what you read when you read the King James, the old King James version of the Bible and your Shakespearean literature. I want to thank you for your time, and I trust that you'll have a wonderful, wonderful day. Keep practicing, and until I come your way again, I'm Dwight Michael Berridge, reminding you that practice makes perfect. Have a good one. I'm out of here.